Welcome my value viewers. First of all, it's pickups today for a change, and then I'm going to do sales. So if you don't want to watch the pickups, there'll be a timestamp in the description below. But if you do want to watch them, they are about to come up. You can watch them now. I'm going to do pickups first because I've got them round here, and then we'll do sales. First off, I went to North Cave. I got there about 6:20. It was roaring trade already. Normally, they have to hang around while people turn up. Well, today, or rather yesterday, people had turned up early for some strange reason, even though it's darker in the morning now than it was before midsummer. So, what did I buy? Well, I'll tell you about it in a second. First off, I went on a charity shop hunt on Saturday and I bought a few things from a local charity shop. I'll just show you those and then I can sling them out the way. Thomas, the tank engine. Oh, there we go. First thing was Thomas the tank engine, it's just fallen out. It was actually all packed up. £3.50, and there he is. And I've taken the old batteries out and put new ones in, and he's working. Anyway, I said to her, is it all there? And they're like, oh yeah, it's all there. Of course it isn't. But it's a lot closer than the last one I bought. The last one I bought had a load of track missing and no chains. Well, this, I thought he was missing his trailer at first, but I found that. What's missing is these boxes. There's one there, and I don't know whether you get two, but there's meant to be one in his trailer that he drops off. That's missing. Yeah, you can use it without it, but it was £3.50, so I'm not taking it back. I can probably sell it like that as is, or I can sell it for parts. I've got loads that I could sell for parts if I wanted to. I bought one a couple of weeks ago that's twice that size for £5 at the car boot, but I had missing parts, as I said to you. Next there was these statuettes, actually. Statues are bigger than this, I suppose. Alabaster, there you go. Quite a mucky one, this. I mean, it's an artistic nude, but it is dirty. It needs a good clean. That was £2.50, but it doesn't have the markings to say it's actually handmade alabaster from Greece. This one does. And this one's a nice cleaner, much cleaner, newer, whiter alabaster. As you can see, it hasn't achieved yellowness yet. And that was £2.50, and it also has the handmade in Greece sticker. There you go. Can you see that? You should focus. I've got autofocus today, so maybe I can get it to focus on that. There you go. It says handmade classic made in Greece alabaster statue. Well, the other one has had that on and it's been unpeeled, which is annoying because it does destroy the value to a certain extent. I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's an alabaster statue actually. With it being nude, the value does go up. That's the way of the world, I'm afraid. So those were £2.50 each, and the last thing I got was this little guy. As you can see, he's asleep. He's been on his back for an hour. I've just changed the batteries. I opened the battery compartment and it was as dirty and corroded as it can be, really. So obviously there was a sticker on it saying £5.75. I said to the lady, has it been tested? Oh yeah, it's all clean, it's all good, but we don't put the batteries in. I'm like, yeah, I know that. So, does it work? Oh yeah, it's all working. I opened it up and as corroded as anything. They're just assuming that you do all the hard work and then they don't care if you bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's working fine. So he's going in the bag that I've already put something else in it. I will walk him out the door because it'll just make loads of noise during the video. And the two alabaster statues, they're nice and they're wrapped up well. Right, I put him out in the hall, he shouldn't disturb us there. If you do hear a fan in the background, it's because it's bloody hot and I can't even sit in here without the fan going. That was £14.25. I think that's well spent. I should get roughly that back, maybe a little bit less on your Furby, and probably the same type of money on each statuette. That's what they seem to be going for. As I said, the nude would go for a little bit more. Really don't know about the Thomas the Tank Engine thing, I haven't really looked it up. Thomas seems to go for about £8. on his own. I'm in money there, you know, it's not a big deal. What we bought in North Cave. First thing I saw was this light. It's a heat lamp from Philips. This is the old style metal Philips Infrafill. It's a bit scratched up and some of the paint's flaking off. So it needs renovation. I paid £4. She wouldn't let it go for less. In really good condition, they're going for 18 to 20 quid. This is in need of renovation, as I say. But they are becoming less and less available, these metal ones. People are taking the front off here and installing a clock inside instead of the red bulb, and obviously electronics for the clock, electronic clock, and then selling them for in the region of £120 with a respray, you know. Anyway, that's what they're buying for. It's not really to install as a heat lamp. People could use it as a heat lamp, I suppose, and that'll be available shortly in that condition for somebody to refurbish. I'm not going to do anything to it, just lay it out and photograph it. I did check it worked, it does work. And then I got what's in this bag. It's a Wii, there you go, £5, but it did come with all the stuff. Power supply, 2 controllers, both dirty but not corroded and they work fine. It's got 1 nunchuck, AV cable, one of those, sensor bars, and a sports disc, which, yeah, it's got a few marks on it. I mean, come on. They all have marks on, don't they, once they've been played with. But it's not that bad. Not bad for a £5. I did see something else, and I said to the guy, oh, video games. And you know me, video games. I like video games. So, yeah, there's this lot and there's this lot, and there's this lot to the side that you can't see because it's off camera. He has these stacks behind everything else on the table. I said, how much are your video games? And he's like, £1 each, or if you buy a few you can have them for cheaper. Okay, anyway, rather than look through them, I started counting one stack and like I got up to about 22. And there was, what I was running my finger through for was see if there's any really standout games, you know, that were worth £15 or whatever, and I couldn't see any. So I did see a couple of games that I wanted, either to play myself or I know that they're worth like £5 to £10. Anyway, halfway up this stack, I'm going like this, and I'm looking at the other stacks as well. There's some Blu-rays mixed in, there's a couple of DS games, and there's some Xbox 360 games, but they're mostly PS3. And halfway up this, no, about 2/3 of the way up this stack, as I'm looking, he just said to me, if you're interested in all of them, you can have them for 20 quid. And I didn't even finish looking at the stack, I just said, yeah, okay. Yeah. So there's roughly, well, I know there, at the time I thought there was roughly about 60. I know exactly what there is now. There's 59 cases. There's a couple without any games in, which is annoying. I said to him, they're not all empty cases, are they? And he said, oh, you can check them if you like. And I'm like, no, as long as they've got games. That's a good price. I'll buy the whole lot for 20 quid. I have actually sorted through. There's about 25 bundle for the PS3 games. Things like Dead Island, Watch Dogs, Quantum of Solace. These are all like £5 and under. Sleeping Dogs, Turning Point I've never heard of, Crisis 2, Lost, Rugby League, Jonah Lumu Rugby, yeah, Battlefield, Arkham Asylum, good game, but very undervalued. I mean, there's loads of them. The Drake's Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, I've got like 3 of those in this pile. There is a Drake's Fortune 2 and a 3. So I've made a little bundle up of those. You know, things like DC Universe Online. It's not a particularly good game to start with, and the online server's likely to be turned off soon enough anyway. Which is what's happening with online games when there isn't any players, because it's not that good a game. It's happened on a number of PS3 games and Xbox 360 games lately. In fact, there's some Xbox One games and PS4 games that they're turning the servers off because they've just not got enough you can hardly call them customers when it's a free server. When there's not enough action on the servers, they turn them off. Which of course ruins the fact that it's an online game. You've bought a game to play online. These are the other bundle fodder, and then I'll show you the good stuff. So we've got Medal of Honor. These are the 360 ones. Medal of Honor Warfighter. They could go in a bundle maybe. Splinter Cell Blacklist, was it? Not too bad. And then there's some Blu-rays. PS3 South Africa, I don't know why that's not in the PS3 bag. So the Blu-rays are Interstellar, Divergent, which is like, nah. And The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is still popular on eBay. Anyway, this should go for like a £5, and maybe £4. I will list those individually, might as well. What else we got in this 360 bag here? I thought they were all 360 in this bag, but they're not. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Double Agent. So I think we can have a Tom Clancy bundle there. 2 DS games, but they're both bundled for the Art Academy and the Golden Compass. And Crackdown 2 Fight Night 4. They're in for my multi-listing those. I think that's why they were in that bag actually. Yeah, they might have been in for the multi-listing. These are the ones I'm going to bundle up, or are worth selling them separately. I did find that in one of the games where there wasn't a game, they had a disc-only game. And this covers probably half the outlay. The Simpsons for PS3. This will be 14 quid, 15 quid, disc only. Tested, which I have done this morning. These are about 25 to 30 I think, when they've got a case obviously. PS3, The Simpsons game.
Moments later.
30 quid. Near mint, we know who that is, don't we? Anyway, they've got a near mint in the title and a green tick. And a green tick! It's getting even worse, isn't it? Okay, anyway, I should get £14 for that easily. World War II, Call of Duty. I think I've sold this recently. Yeah, the PS4 version though. Tron Evolution. These are all at least £5 or bundles. That's a bundle. Red Faction, Guerrilla and Armageddon. Guerrilla's quite a good game. I enjoyed that. Then we've got the Uncharted series. They're not expensive. That should go for maybe £12 delivered on eBay. I think that's what I've got the listing set up for. I think people have got as much as 14, but the average is about £11.99, £12 for the 3 delivered. And they're all in good nick, with manuals. That's not bad. Grand Theft Auto 4, with a map and a manual. Pristine actually. Really nice, that one. Last time I saw that was £8.99. The case is all smashed, I'll swap it out. Call of Duty bundle. MW3, that's Modern Warfare 3. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, that's effectively Modern Warfare 1. Call of Duty Ghosts and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So those 4 maybe a tenner delivered. They're only very cheap games these days. It's not because they're not good games. They're all good games. Yeah, any Call of Duty aficionado may well want that for a tenner. Now it's cost me £1.20 because I've got 59 games minus one empty case for 20 quid. So these are the ones here that should go for between 5 and 10, and a couple might even go for 12. The Evil Within, Shell Shock 2, Blood Trails, Prototype 2, could be over a 10 of that one. Batman Arkham Origins, The Bourne Conspiracy. Believe it or not, that's going for more than a £5. Cricket 2010. Yeah. What? Aliens vs Predators. Yeah, absolutely. That'll go for probably 8-9 quid down. Resident Evil 5. Still holding its price for some reason. Black Ops 2. Yeah. Everybody likes Black Ops 2. I like the zombie mode. That's fun. There's a Dead Island somewhere in the bundle fodder one. And then I'm going to bundle it with Escape Dead Island. There you go. This is like a cel-shaded cartoon type version. Final Fantasy 13, there you go, with lightning on the front. Final Fantasy 13 2, there's a nice bundle. You could probably get 12, maybe more. Driver San Francisco, this will reach over a £5, but I'm going to play it for a bit first because I really enjoyed it the last time I had it, and I don't have it right now. It's not really sort of what I would put in my collection, but it won't be sold for a while. And another Clive Barker's Jericho, which I got one last week and I've listed it in for, it hasn't sold yet, but that's fine. That's a 6, 7, 8 quid night. Not a bad, small, short pickup. So none of them are absolute, you know, sort of bangers, but you can't knock 60 games back for 20 quid and some Blu-rays. I don't know, a few quid back on those Blu-rays, nothing spectacular. But nice bundles, 4 at a time in a bundle for 15 quid or 12 quid. You know, you can't really go wrong, can you? That was £29 spent at North Cave. Now I'm going to do Hull. I got to Hull, went down the side chute like I normally do to see if I can find householders clearing their stuff out. And the first thing I bought was this pair of headphones. They just look like any old other plastic pair of headphones, but they're not. They're Roland. There you go. RH5 headphones. And she knew they were more expensive. These will go 180 degrees because they're designed for DJs. So you wear them on your head, or you can flip them 180 degrees and listen in one side for queuing something up. So that's why they're more expensive. They've got these earpieces that flip like that, and so you can have them spinning outwards, and they've got a nice cushion, and it's not damaged at all. The cushion, none of the cushion's damaged. It's actually quite quiet with them on, and they were a £5. Yeah, I know, but they should go for over 20, maybe 25. Got a nice clean cable with a small connector and an adapter for a larger hi-fi. It's okay. I'd rather have had it for 2, but 5 is 5, isn't it? Next there was 4 multi-CD cases, is what it said. It was 2 for £1, so I got 4. So I got Classical Album of the Millennium and Frank Sinatra, and then Classical Album of the Millennium. Oh, that's on the wrong box. I don't suppose it matters. No, it doesn't matter. Anyway, Classical Album of the Millennium. The other one says Your 100 Best Tunes. These are for the fat PS1 games, and this one's got a connector in, so you can have 3 games in this one. The holders break in the old PS1 games here. Well, this has got all the connectors. They're a different design of connector, which is obviously what they adopted because the other ones kept breaking, you know? The other ones kept breaking, so they've changed the design. Anyway, that'll go on to one of my broken ones. And this one is Chill Out CD. 4 CDs in 4 different cases, actually. There you go. So that's saleable. And these 2 are both 4s. I.e., oh, that one's a 3 as well. Sorry, that one's a 3 as well. Yeah, you see, look, this is the old style with the prongs that stick inwards, and they get bent inwards when people put CDs into them, and they break off, and eventually you end up with like 3 holding the CD, and the CD rattles about, and obviously it scratches it. I don't really care about the Frank Sinatra CD, but what I am doing is making sure it doesn't rattle about in the meantime and get broken. So that will go into a 3 CD PS1 game, and the outside crystal case is fine on that one. I'm not sure what it is on this one because it's got a cardboard cover. Just get it off and we'll have a look. Yeah, this one's really nice. So the covers are good. What matters is these pins here, both sides, there and there, that will hold CDs correctly. The CDs are all falling out of it, and this bit's for 2 CDs is no good at all. But the thing about these is, because I've got these, I don't have to concern myself too much when I'm out buying PlayStation 1 games, either for my collection or for reselling them. So there's a few fat box CD cases there that are broken in that PS1 haul I got. I don't have to worry about the cases because I've got spare cases. I don't have to worry about the backs or the fronts really because I can use old CD cases. It's the centres that matter, and I've got, what, 3 spare cases centres there. A lot of the time when buying them on eBay, the cheaper ones don't have nice cases. The nicest ones with the nice cases are going for too much. So that wasn't bad. You know, don't get me wrong. I went round the clearance guys. I had a word with the landfill guy, and he was saying how he gets most of his good stuff on a Monday. And he's like, I sort it out during the week, and a lot of it gets either held back, and some of it goes on eBay. And then after a couple of weeks, everything's £1. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I've bought plenty of stuff off you. So this is what I got off him this week. a BT home hub with 1 foot. I've got a spare foot somewhere. I've been selling them for like £4.25 each. But there's a hanging hook, you see, so you can hang them on a wall. But there's no power supply on this. It's a 12 volt 2 amp. The power supplies sell separately, so I could get one. These go for ridiculous money. It's not a hub as much as an extender. It's a Wi-Fi. It's called a Wi-Fi disc. BT Wi-Fi disc.
More moments later.
£60 with a power supply in a box. $49.98 with a power supply out of a box. £12 on its own. Oh, that's not so good, is it? $49.90 with the power supply. £50 Wi-Fi extender disc. £75 brand new. So what I really need is a Smart Hub 2 extender power supply. BT Smart Hub 2 extender power supply. Well, I know what it is, it's just that it has to fit into the hole. I'm trying to see if I can find a number on one of the pictures of somebody else's sale, and then I can find out which one it is. This one's face up, so I can actually see the number on the power supply. People take photographs from 3.5 foot away. Have you not heard of macro? They're like, oh, put it on the table across the room and take a shot with your telephoto lens. You can't see any scratches, that's why they do it. It's a bit deceptive. I like to have nice close-ups, and you know what? I think that's why I sell them faster when I've got them. $48.99 for this one, but he's got the power supply on its side. He's only got 3 shots, and he's sold it for $48.99. Here we go. It's a model number SO24A WM 1200 200. SM24A WM 1200 200.
Moments later.
There we go. $11.49, £9.09 plus postage, £8.87. So I buy one for £8.87 and I sell the whole lot for 48 quid. Can't go wrong, can you? I shall give it a heart. I'll make sure that it's the right power supply. It says it's for an EE PSU, but it's got a power. It's got a part number. And EE does do those discs the same, exactly the same as the BT ones. There's one there for £9.20. £9.39, £9.30. £8.87 is cheaper than £9.30, as long as it's not coming from China. So that'll take a week. That's okay. Power this up, make sure it works. £1 into £40 minus the £8.89, so £48.99 minus that. And yeah, there's only 1 foot. It won't stop it selling, I can guarantee it. I might even take that foot off and sell them without a foot. I've done that before and it's still sold for about 50 quid, no feet. And take that one off and sell it as well. That's halfway towards the power supply. Yeah, might do that actually. Makes sense. That was the first thing for £1. What else did I get for £1? Let's have a look. A Panasonic DVD player. This is a DVD S500, a standard DVD player. It works. I've tested it this morning. It doesn't have a remote. It was £1. I've ordered the remote. It was about £6.50. When it comes, it will owe me at £7.50 and I'll probably get £20 to £25 on that. I might even get, I think £25 is probably the most I'm going to get delivered. I don't mind that. I also got a Bush 10-inch photo frame. Brand new, in the box. It says £10 on it. Yeah, it's got its manual, it's got its instructions, it's got its power supply. It's got all the bump, it's just fallen out of its cardboard. There you go. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so nice and new in the box. The box is a bit battered, shouldn't be a problem. So it'll sell for at least 10. What else did I get? Oh yeah, a PS2 DualShock third party. I have tested that this morning. It doesn't work. That is about the third one in a row that I bought that doesn't work, and that is what you have to do in order to get the ones that do work, because I got that for £1. I got this one for £1, PS4 controller. That doesn't work either, actually. I didn't get that this week, I got this a few weeks ago. But I have had PS4 controllers for a couple of quid and they do work. That is one of them. That is my go-to PS4 controller. It's not as nice as my blue one, but I'm keeping that. No, did I? No, I sold the blue one with the white PS4. So I do have another black one, but it's got damaged thumbstick, and I have a camo one. Oh, I got a V-Road on the Sony PS4 controller, the camo version. Everybody else has sold them, 30 odd quid. I can't sell mine because I got a V-Road by the intellectual property holder, i.e. Sony V-Road, mine. Do you know why it was a V-Road? It looked like a fake in the pictures. Do you know why it looked like a fake in the pictures? Because the background had been removed and replaced by eBay's tool. eBay's background removal tool has cost me a sale of a camo PS4 controller. That is no joke. The reason it looks fake is because their background removal tool made it look fake. Do not use their background removal tool if you can avoid it on things like that. I'm just saying. It turns out CEX are giving 30 quid trading on those as a voucher. Anyway, 30 quid trading on a PS4 controller because it's camouflage version. Yeah, I'll trade it in. I'll buy a game and I'll sell it, or buy a few games and sell them. Next was Downfall. Yeah, I got this Downfall. Very nice. It looked really clean. It was in a big pile of things, and I said to her, how much is that? And she immediately like jumped into the sales pitch. Oh, it's an old version. This is the first ones in the market. It's like vintage, and I'm like, just how much is it, love? And she's like, oh well. And she says it's mid 80s this, and I'm like, no, it isn't. She says it's £5. As though that was going to put me off. She said like it's £5. Okay. Now I looked around it. There's a few scuffs here and there, but nothing serious. It's actually in very good nick, the box. And I opened it up, and instructions are on the inside. It's all clean. It's a long box version. This is the one people want. 1970 it says on the side, actually, not 80s. And it's got, if you can see, it's got all the tokens and a base. It's all nice and clean. It's got the rubber feet. So I was happy to pay a £5. I'm obviously going to ask for a discount anyway. And so I've got it in my hands and I'm like turning it over. Oh, you can't read that. It's somebody's put their Scrabble score on the back. Craig and Sarah. I've got, because the next box up in the pile was Scrabble. Yeah. So Craig got 157 and Sarah got 216 and won. Scumbags. Why did they write it on the back of a 50-year-old box? 54 years old this. Yeah, and it was the only marks on the box, but never mind. So anyway, I paid £4. I said to her, I'm only going to pay £3 because of the damage on the box. And she's like, oh no, I still want a £5. And I'm like, no, there's no way I'm paying a £5. Anyway, we agreed on £4. Yeah, look. You can see that now, can't you? If I move my face out of the way, it'll focus on it. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. That's you know, me, I'm disappointed for the person who eventually buys that off me. I will point it out, obviously, but yeah, it could have, I mean, it doesn't destroy the display aspect of it because it's on the back, but it's not as nice as if it had been clean, obviously. Yeah, never mind. I also got something else from the landfill guy. Before I bought that, I missed it out, I've forgotten about it. This Surge Fire by Nerf. There you go. Surge Fire. Oh, it says on both sides. There you go. Yeah. I said to him, how much are these? And they're like, everything's £1. Are you sure? Yeah, nice. Okay, that was £1. And the Panasonic and the Wi-Fi disc. Oh, something I did pay a little bit more for was somebody else's clearance store. I dug this out of a box and they said £2. I'm like, yeah, alright, fine, yeah. It looks as though it'll work. I haven't tested it yet. You snap that onto the back of an old style Xbox 360 in order to make it Wi-Fi. The Slim and the E that I've got have Wi-Fi built in. They've just got a little Wi-Fi card that's in this, wired in automatically inside the box. When the 360 came out, you had to have a LAN connector. Anyway, this just fits into the USB on the back of the thing and snaps in. It's just a Wi-Fi adapter. These are going for like 13, 14 quid. This is real clean, should be fine. I'll test it out on one of my 360s. I still have a carousel somewhere that works, in the garage probably. Anyway, I'll test it out. That was it at Hull. So that was £18.50. Yeah. So it wasn't an expensive day all round, £47.50 spent. But I got some good stuff, and there's real value in the video games eventually, if they all sell. You know, at some point when I've got like 2,000 video games extra that I haven't listed yet, I'm going to have to stop buying video games, but that hasn't happened yet. I don't see the point. It's always worth having them as long as bundles still sell, and they do. Plus with that site, you know, yeah, I'm not mentioning that at the moment, but yeah, very easy to list on that site. You just you put them on this cushion in front of me, on my poof, whatever they call them, where you put your feet up. One shot, turn it over, second shot, open it, third shot. And then you put the title. And that's it. It's not like eBay, you know. Right, I've got sales to show you. It just felt different this week. I wanted to change things up a bit. First sale of the week was a Polaroid P600 instant sale. Sorry, it's an instant camera. It wasn't an instant sale. It was sold on the 11th. It was listed on the 30th of July. £8. It cost me £1, and I've sold it as untested. It has literally been not tested, and I described it as such and said it is a faulty, not to be sold as working. I put it in the non-working for parts section, and I've got a return request. They haven't sent it back yet though. It's been several days. They haven't taken it to the post office. They've been sent a barcode. What do they call it? A label. They've been sent a label barcode so they can get it scanned and put a label on it in the post office, whatever eBay does these days. But they haven't done it, so maybe they were just hoping for a refund. They requested it, hoping for a refund maybe. I don't know. They haven't returned it as yet, but they've asked for one. It's funny to say that because the next sale, official SkyQ EC201 Bluetooth remote, £8.99 free post, so basically a £5. It was the cheap version of the two remotes, the one without the sort of metallized silver bit on. It is the cheap version. They go for like £6.99 delivered on eBay. Anyway, I got £8.99. That's £6.99 for the ones that they pretend are real Sky that come from China. I got £8.99, and they've actually said, we'd like a return, and I'm like, fine, no problem. No, they didn't actually say that. They said, oh, there's an issue with one of the buttons. It's hard to press. Every other button's fine, but one's hard to press to get the light to come on. There is no light on these. It's Bluetooth. Thinking about it, so it's hard to press to get it to go down the screen rather than up the screen. Every other button's fine. It wasn't hard to press when I tested it. And yes, you can test these. You can link them in to your computer or your phone with Bluetooth, and you can use the direction buttons, or you can use the number buttons to write numbers into a box. So you can actually test all those buttons. You can test that it's working like that. And I did test those buttons, and the remote, and the enter button, and all those buttons were working fine. No problem at all. And yeah, so they said, oh, there's an issue with it. It's a hard to press button. Okay. So if you'd like to return it, you can. just request a return, say there's a fault with it, and you'll get it sent back. Anyway, came back about 15 minutes later and says, oh, it's alright, I won't bother. I'm thinking, yeah, all you really were diving after for was a discount. I get it, but you're not getting it off me. He's just left it at that. I'm fine with that. As I say, it was just delving for a discount. And I don't know whether the button was hard to press or not. Hard to press? I think he means you had to press it hard. But anyway, next item was a Wii game. I originally bought this for £1, sold it for £4.50. So actually, I don't think I'm making any money at all, maybe 50 pence. Out of £4.50, there's £2 postage, £1.90 plus an envelope. Then there's an ad fee and a transaction fee. So the transaction fee was 92 pence, including the 30 pence transaction part off, and an ad fee of 12 pence, which is 2.5%, I think. Anyway, that leaves me £1.56. It cost me £1, so I've made 56 pence after doing all the work and the photography. It really, you know, you are, unless you're doing multiples of them at the same time, after either testing or looking at the discs and deciding, it really isn't worth cleaning them at that anymore. You know, if it's worth £6, £7, £7, £8, it's just about worth polishing them and cleaning them and making sure that they're working in photography. But under that, it really needs to be in a bundle now. Then there was a camera from that big tray of cameras I held up a couple of weeks ago. I got that Polaroid that I started the week out with in that, and I got 2 digital cameras, both had memory cards in, which, well, I won't, you know, foreshadow, but they're going alright actually. Anyway, in with that was some old film cameras, and this is one of them, and it was faulty. Kawa SE, a Japanese make, quite a nice iconic looking camera. It had a lens on the front, f1.9 lens, which would have been really nice if it had worked, but it didn't. The lens itself was stuck. The shutter iris was stuck in, so it was like half in and half out, obviously. And the actual where the battery went into the camera was rusty, and I didn't want to open it and find out it was rusty and corroded with a battery that exploded. So I just left it at that and said, look, this is what it is. Here's the photographs, it's nice for display, but that's about it. And I sold it displayed for, well, I've put spares or repair display, £9.99 free post. And it actually went really fast, so it's like a £5 back. Next, Project Gotham Racing for the Xbox original, a classic Xbox OG. It's very difficult to decide what to call the original Xbox, because it's not the first, it's not Xbox One. It's, if you put Xbox One and Xbox One S and Xbox One X come up. So I've started putting original or classic or OG. A lot of people put Xbox OG, original generation. 372. It was bundle fodder, and it was in that bundle that I got for 33 pence. 39 pence, wasn't it? 39 pence. Yeah, again, I haven't made any money at all on it. With the transaction fees and the postage label and another 10 pence off because of the envelope, I come away with 90 pence. So yeah, I've made 50 pence, but I did test all those games, so it took time, and of course I had photographs. That's why I'm saying there's a bundle for £5 or more, and then there's bundle fodder. If you're selling a bundle of 10 and you're making 50 pence on each one, it's not too bad. Next, for us, some stainless steel forks. I got 6 forks, paid £1.45 for them in the charity shop. It's the cheapest they sell anything now. There's no 99p anything, nothing. All the kids' toys are £1.45 or more. Anyway, went for £3.30 plus postage, £7.50. Yeah, they paid more postage than they bought the forks for, that is true. And I, after all fees and costs, came away with about £3. So yeah, again, the person who bought them was really pleased with them. They left me really nice feedback. So they repaid me in good feedback for the time and effort I put in. And feedback like that, it's money in the bank, because people who are unsure about buying from you read that and they know you took some care over somebody else's work and that you'll take care over theirs. Next, again, £5 for, it's a clearance item this. Kids craft pack, sticks, pipe cleaners and paper pom-poms with glitter, glue and more. £5. I've sold half a dozen of these. No, is it three in the last month? £5 each. They're just clearing out my space now. PS4 game, Hello Neighbour, $6.99. Bought this for £2 at the car boot. Yeah, tested it, it was fine. Sold it for $6.99. I don't know whether I've made any money on that. I think I've made a couple of quid. Yeah, £4.20, and it, as I say, it cost a couple of quid. Next door, this one did actually make me some money. I had this up at $59.99, sent somebody a ridiculously cheap offer, and they countered my ridiculously cheap offer in a message, because I do take the messages, the counter offers off when I send a good offer. I sent a good offer of about £50. I think I'd already reduced them to £59. They were up at $69.99. I'd reduced them to £56. Anyway, they sent me a message saying, can I buy this off you for cheaper than that? And I sent them an offer of £44 plus postage, £48.20. And that is a real good discount. It's 20% off the price that I reduced it to. I'd only just reduced it, and then I reduced it another 20% for them. £44. Anyway, they snapped my hand off at that, and that was good. And it's gone out. But the point is, this cost me a £5. Did I say what it was? Did I? TP-Link, it's the power line adapters that I got for a £5. I made a lot more money on that one. Yeah, I made £33 after all the fees, costs and delivery. I was happy to accept 44 on that. That's after the £5 back. Next sale was a Canon camera battery charger, CB2 LXE with 3-pin cable, £8.99 plus postage, £13.19. Battery charger that cost me a quid out of a box. I didn't have the battery to charge it with. Here's a game out of the previous bundle that I bought only a week or so back. Heroes Over Europe. It's the sequel to Heroes of the Pacific. Heroes of the Pacific is PS2. Heroes Over Europe is PS3, £9.95 delivered. It was costing me 30-40 pence this one. Earnings was £6.16 after all costs. So what's that, £5 or £5.50 profit? Worth having out that. This is a weird one, and it didn't make me any money, but it had been in my stock a long time. Obviously somebody needed it, and I thought, yeah, somebody will eventually want to buy it because they need it. It's the manual for a TV that I used to own. In fact, I've got the Panasonic Viera right in front of me now, the bigger version. This is the 42-inch version of this. This is the TX37LZD81. The operating instructions manual for my old TV, which I kept. Yeah, I know, that you don't really need them. Once you've got them and you've been playing with them for a while, you know what you're doing, like changing the screen and stuff. So, I sold it, £4.50 delivered. I think it was about £2.50 to post, because it's a large letter after fees and £2.50. It doesn't leave me a lot, £1.68 profit, or rather back, return, but somebody else would be happy about that. Next, this is a game out of the PS1 bundle that I had. I didn't tell you, did I? I told you that a couple of the PS1s that I tested didn't work. I thought they'd all not worked out of the bundle. There was 3 PS1s. It turns out one of them was working. I'll be putting that on shortly. I had been testing some PS1 games with it. You can test them on the PS3, but it is a lot faster to natively use a PS1. Slap a game in, it loads up immediately. Slap another game in, it loads up immediately. With these, it has to think about going into PS1 mode, then the controllers have to pair and then change, and then honestly, it's so much faster using the native system. I kept it back while I was testing all those games. Anyway, this is one of the games I tested and it worked fine. Spyro 2, Gateway to Glimmer, cleaned it up, made sure the box was all nice, £11.99 free post. It says free post, but I did point out that I send it by courier, and that's why it's like a quid more than everybody else. Some people have actually got 13 quid for it. But 12 quid for Gateway to Glimmer, it's not bad at all. It was in good nick, that's all you can say about it really. It's got Spyro on the front. Next game was DMC, another one out of that previous Xbox 360 bundle, and that I'd got for like 40 or 50 pence each for these. £5.99 delivered. That's fair enough. £1.50 profit. A memory card? Memory card, eh? This was out of a camera I bought for £1 or £2 a few weeks back. I didn't actually sell the camera, but I put a bigger card in it. I put a 512 in it. This is an 8 megabyte SD card. Yes, you heard me right. 8 megabyte, not gigabyte, megabyte. And I had to stress that in the listing. In case you got confused, it's not gigabyte, it's megabyte. £4.50 though. And I pointed out it's more of a talking point because you wouldn't even get one photograph these days on 8 megabyte. You might actually get 2. You might get 2 photographs on a high camera, on a high resolution camera. 16 megabytes or 20 megabytes. It's going to use 5 megabytes per photo. It's more of a talking point, really, or it'll go into a low resolution older camera, 1.2, 1.3, maybe a 2.1, 2.2 camera. There's plenty of them still kicking about. I call them kids cameras, but lots of like film students use them for the fact that it's low resolution, but it's a CCD. It produces a different type of colour scheme in the CCDs as opposed to the CMOS. I'm not explaining it very well. It's a different approach to colour that some people who like that retro feel like. Next, another Sky remote, but this was the good version of the Sky remotes, the one with the metal on. This one's called a Sky Q EC050, and this was a Bluetooth touch remote as well, but as I say, it's got the silver touchpad. £19.95 plus postage, £24.15. Yeah, again I Bluetoothed it onto my phone, tested it, it worked fine, so sold it, £19.95 plus postage. That was part of that £5 bundle from a few weeks back that I just hadn't got around to listing. I think so anyway. I might have bought that separately, I don't know. Here's a PS2 game which is very popular. It was sold internationally, went to Italy. Half-Life for the PS2. PlayStation 2, £12.99 free post, and the free post took it to Lichfield, and then they paid on top to go to Italy. I don't know how much, but that's where it went. Next there was a DVD player that I bought last week, and it sold last week, which is pretty good going. It sold as soon as I listed it actually, or the next morning. Philips DVP 2980/05. Yeah, that Philips one, the round Philips one I showed. Yeah, you've seen the pictures anyway. £14.99 plus postage, £19.19 with a remote. Yeah, it worked fine. You know, just a bit weird. It had that sort of same opening style as a PS1, where you press the button and it opens up, and it doesn't open all the way. It doesn't go 90 degrees. It goes sort of, actually less than 45 degrees. This went like that, and you had to put it in sideways and press it down onto the centre spindle. Very much like a PS1, or a PS2 in fact, the one with the flip up lid. Anyway, yeah, £15 plus postage. Can't go wrong. It cost me a couple of quid, I think. I don't know, you'd have to refer back to the video from last week. And then a couple more things, which, yeah, I was a bit surprised with this one. I bought this in the charity shop. When I dropped off at the post, I whipped it home, took some photos. I think it was Saturday. What date is it today? Well, it doesn't matter what date it is today. Yeah, it was Saturday. It was sold on Saturday. Saturday night. Took some photos and listed it. And it's sold. Religious Russian nesting doll. It had the nativity on the outside, and I opened it, and it had like the early life of Jesus on the second one. Oh no, it was the baptism of Jesus on the second one, and the third one had Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, if anybody knows that one. Jesus praying, if you like. Then the fourth one was the Ascension, and the fifth one was like little blue thing with stars on, so I'm assuming that's the Holy Spirit. Whatever it was, yeah. So it basically was a hand. You can see the pictures. It was a handmade, painted Russian doll with scenes from the life of Jesus. So anyway, it sold for $16.95 plus postage $21.15, and yes, the cost has remained blank because it was £1.45. I just thought I'd surprise you at the beginning. £1.45 in the charity shop. They didn't think much to it because it was only small. Yeah, it was only 4 inches tall, just under 4 inches anyway. Yeah, $16.95 plus postage. If you see the one with the iconography on, that looks like real Russian triptych iconography, that if you go into the solds on eBay, somebody got £100 for one with the, as I say, with the Russian iconography of the life of Jesus Christ, but not this type of stuff. This is just hand painted. Okay, nothing special. That one, £100. Yeah. Anyway, next one was Marvel's Avengers, PlayStation 4. Yeah. I loaded it. I didn't even play it to test it, quite honestly. I loaded it up, it loaded fine, I stopped it, I turned it off. It's not my cup of tea. So for $7.99 delivered. And it went for £1.50 odd because it was very light. It was about 80 grams. Some of the PS2 games without a manual are only 80 grams. Most of the PS4 games that have a little bit of paper on are only like 80 grams, 85 grams. And this one didn't even have a little bit of paper, it was just the disc in the box. That went for £8, and yeah, as I say, I think both of those were £1.45 in the charity shop. £4.87 after fees and delivery. So you can take another 10 pence, 12 pence off that for the envelope. Make about £3.80 odd on that one. Not a particularly brilliant week. It worked out at 20 total sales, £258.60. It was better last week, wasn't it? 600 odd. Hopefully I'll have a good week in the next couple of weeks at some point. Sunday I did have some sales. We're not going into those because what I was hoping to do was shift to show you everything from one week, and then the next week I'll show you everything from that week. All orders this week, that'll make up to nearly 100 quid, 99 quid up to now. It comes to £99 up now this week. It's only Monday afternoon, so it's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to leave it now and edit you. My main thing is taking out the airs, ands and buts. I am trying my best to look at the camera and not say and, so, but, yeah, whatever. I try my best to be lucid and not waste time, and then I can edit them out without too much of an issue, because I do talk in circles. I know, I waffle on, I you know, gild the lily they call it, don't they? Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. I'm not talking to the 10% that do, I'm talking to the 90% that don't. Just do one of them things underneath. It's great. It's easy. It's free. Thanks for watching the video. There's other videos you can watch. I'm sure one of them will pop up at some point. Probably where the other pictures were. Right, speak to you later. Bye.